So welcome everyone. My name is Angus Levie, and tonight I'm going to be going through Afriq Arbitrage system, what it is, what's involved, some of the do's and don'ts when signing up, and also when topping up, because those are the areas where most people make mistakes. I'm also going to be talking to you about the actual potential of this system to make you quite a lot of money using the power of compounding. Most people don't really understand it. But I'll also be explaining to you about the power of leverage through introducing others and what that can mean to your account. So without further ado, let's get going. So Afriq was started by a man called Jessam Michael. He is Nigerian based, and he is a well-known Forex trader. And he was getting fed up of all the Ponzi schemes out there, and how people were basically being ripped off time and time and time again. Not just by fake platforms, but also by Forex exchanges who were basically ripping off their clients, not paying out, that sort of thing. So he was involved in a company like myself called COTPS, which was an arbitrage business. And that was doing really well, paying us out, over 3% a day. And then they got hacked last year, around, I think it was April time. Now, as far as I can ascertain, that it was a genuine hack. We can still see the funds are kept by Binance, but the company hasn't been able to get up since. So he said, well, look, I'm going to design a system that will be as hack-proof as possible. And that's what he has done. So this is Jessam Michael here. And as I've explained, he's a seasoned trader and trainer with over 10 years of experience. He has a huge following, which probably accounts for the reason that when they actually launched Afriq at the beginning of the year, within the first 30 minutes, there was over 250,000 signups. In fact, Twilio, who are the SMS provider, shut down the system because they thought there was some sort of a robot hack going on. They couldn't believe the amount of traffic that was coming in on a new project just starting up. Since then, Afriq has actually signed up over 12 million people. Now, not all of those accounts are live, but there are 12 million accounts signed up. So AAS is a digital currency trading platform that uses high-frequency trading algorithms to automatically buy digital currencies at low prices and sell them at higher prices to generate returns. As a model, it's focused on digital currency and high-frequency transactions. AAS has built a world-class digital exchange that has created a top-notch wealth space for investors globally. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, you can put them into the chat here and I'll be happy to answer them as I go along. And maybe afterwards, when we have time, I will be allowing you to open your mics and ask questions also. So they have offices in the US, which were recently opened, and already they have, well, they say operations in more than 150 countries. What they really mean is they've got partners or business clients in over 150 countries. They are registered in Colorado, and you can see the registration here. They have a certificate of incorporation in Nigeria also, and the documents for their registration are available here. And you can do a search on this site looking for them if you wish. If anyone needs further details, you can always contact me and I'll be able to get them for you. So what is arbitrage? Well, arbitrage consists of buying a foreign currency in the market where its price is low, and then simultaneously selling it in the market where the price is higher. This is possible since exchanges have different prices for the same cryptocurrencies. The situation of price gap is used by traders to make profit on their trades using arbitrage. So basically what you're doing, and I've seen it time and time again, especially when a Bitcoin, for example, was near its height, I noticed that the difference between two exchanges I used was over $700 at one stage between the same price. Now, that is a massive difference. The problem for an individual is that to take advantage of that, you really need funds in both accounts that you can buy one and sell the other, and you know, keep that 700 profit on, say, I think it was something like at the time around 50,000 was the price, but that was still a huge profit difference, and most people don't have the technical know-how or ability to do that. But this is why Afriq was set up. So what makes Afriq different from other arbitrage platforms? Well, first off, it's got 100% proof of liquidity. Why? Because they use Binance. Binance holds all our funds that we invest in Afriq. The company itself doesn't have direct control over our funds. It's held in the Binance liquidity pool. There's several reasons for that. And one was for security. Binance has probably one of the best platforms as far as protection and security is concerned. The second one is Jess and Michael didn't want to have anybody accusing him of potentially messing with client funds. Therefore, he wrote the smart protocol contract so that there was no possible way that any human could have control over the funds. It was all controlled by the contract. Binance also control the withdrawals, and that's why any of you that have done any withdrawals will have seen that, you know, when you click on the withdrawal button, within a minute at most, the money, especially if you have a Binance account, the money is in your wallet, your personal wallet. So it runs on ASI, which is basically artificial intelligence. It's a program. HFT, that's high frequency trading computers, and microservice. Haven't a clue really, to be quite honest, what he means by microservice. Now it pays out 1.65% daily as a minimum. Now I'll explain a bit more, but there is a bonus on the end of it, which actually brings the average up to 2.1% daily. It gives 5% direct referral commissions. Now, what that means is for anybody you personally introduce, you will be paid 5% of whatever they earn on a daily basis. Now, guys, this is actually the secret sauce to building wealth. This will make you quite happy and comfortable. But this, and I'll show you why, can actually make a huge difference. There are no withdrawal charges apart from what Binance charges, the network fee of $1 for USDT TRC20. So it runs 24/7, 7 days a week. So we are paid 7 days a week, unlike Forex, for example, which only works 5 days a week. And as I've explained earlier, you make money by the system searches over 6 different exchanges, and it's looking for where there's a suitable difference at any given moment in time between prices offered on a variety of digital currencies within those platforms. And it can be tiny amount up to quite a huge amount, so you could have spreads of between 1 or 2% up to 6 or even 10% in some cases, as I've already mentioned. So let's just break it down for you a little bit. So Exchange A is offering sale of a digital currency at 1,000. Exchange B is offering it at 1,050. You make 50 because you're going to buy it at the 1,000, sell it at 1,050, and you pocket the profit. But the difference with Afriq is that it's doing this literally on the millisecond scale. It is whacking through, and I've seen if you look in our media files, you'll see where I put up posts of the actual operation of the software, and you'll see within seconds it's made several trades. So what is high frequency trading? Well, it's a method of trading that uses powerful computer programs to transact a large number of orders in a fraction of seconds. And what's the algorithm? Well, the algorithm is basically a computer program that follows a defined set of instructions to place a trade, and the trade in theory can generate profits at a speed and frequency that is impossible for human traders. And again, the problem with trying to arbitrage on your own is that it can take time for your money to go from one exchange to the other, etc., etc. So there's always that chance of loss. Whereas with Afriq AAS, it's done really fast. So we're looking at 1.65% per day. Now, you might think, well, that doesn't sound like a huge amount, but remember what our savings get us in the bank. We're lucky to get 1.65% in a year, and we're talking about in a day. What will happen as the community grows and the liquidity pool grows, the actual return that we get will increase also. So again, this is just based on 1.65%, but let's say you start with a small amount, let's say $500 or $1,000. Let's look at 1,000 just to make it simple. $1,000 compounded, okay, this is where all of the profits are returned to be traded again every day, can give you a return of 660 in the month, or in 12 months, 392,000. Now that might seem impossible, but I will prove it to you before we finish that those are actual results that are possible. So again, you can see how starting with $500 in September, by October you have 816, November 1356, December 2,216, and then January 3,681, purely through compounding. Now, I must point out here that auto compounding is not in place yet in the system. We're waiting for the actual liquidity pool to be big enough to handle all of this. So it needs more funds at the moment. And as soon as it is, it will be started. But you can do it yourself by literally every time you have a minimum of $50 of profits in your dashboard. You can pull that out and reinvest it. So you would extract it and then deposit back into your account. Can we withdraw profit when auto compounding is started without closing the account? Arne, yes, you can. So basically what's going to happen is you know, that blue box in the top of your dashboard. Each day that will increase, because whatever's in that dashboard in profit, plus any referral earnings you get, will be taken out within 20 minutes of your daily profit being paid into it. So the whole amount will be withdrawn back into the liquidity pool, and then at the end of that 24 hours, it plus any profit it made is put back in. So at the moment, we're only allowed a maximum of 100,000 in actual funds trading, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't have more. In other words, your profit trading on top of that. It's just deposited funds, maximum is 100,000. So you don't have to close the account. Now, there is a rule, though, that if you want to take any of your deposited funds out, you can. You have to apply direct to the support in the company, but that means you have to actually close out your account. And that email address and the email address and phone number attached to it will not be able to be used again. Okay, so that account is closed forever. Is there an affiliate program? Yes, there is. As I mentioned earlier, it's just uni level, so you only get paid on whoever you personally introduce, and that is at 5% of whatever profit they earn on a daily basis. And that can grow substantially, and it's quite exciting, and that's why I want to show you why it is exciting for you potentially. Do I need to execute any trades daily? No, you don't. It's all done automatically. You just literally fund your account and let it ride. You don't have to do anything else. Now, if you want to manually compound, obviously you're going to have to withdraw the funds back into your main exchange account and then return them to the wallet. What is the cycle of trade in AAS? So a cycle is the amount of time it takes for the daily transactions and to complete both return of your capital and profits. So in AAS's case, it is basically a 24-hour cycle. So once every 24 hours, we are paid into our dashboard wallet. How long does it trade? Well, this is the same thing, 24 hours. And we've already given you an example of how the bot trades. So at the end of a trade cycle, your $500 plus the profit will be back in your wallet, and the trading cycle will be repeated on the higher balance, compounding your gains each time. Now that is only when the auto compounding starts. It hasn't started yet. We don't actually have an actual date because it all depends on when the liquidity pool is at a place when it can. Withdrawals are only possible once compounding starts at the end of the 24-hour cycle. At the moment, any profit that is within that blue box on your dashboard can be withdrawn at any time. But once auto compounding starts, 20 minutes after you are paid your daily profit, all profit that is left in that dashboard in the blue box will be swept back into the liquidity pool to be traded just for 24 hours, and then it plus all of the profit goes back into the blue box. So you will be able to withdraw daily if you wish. So there is no withdrawal limit, although Binance have actually put a limit on since of 10,000 a day. Now I can live with 10,000 a day. I don't know about you, but that'll do me for the moment. The reason for this is that they're very, very careful about money laundering. In fact, originally, there was a limit of 10 million that you could have deposited, and Binance came in and said, we're not comfortable with this. 100,000 is the maximum. Now, I think once they get comfortable with Afriq and how it's all running, that may be loosened up a little bit, especially for those who are verified Binance accounts. They can say, yeah, okay, we know who this person is and we're comfortable for them to have a larger account. In order for your account to stay active, you must ensure that you have a minimum of $20 in your account. If there is less than $20 trading in your account, the account will be automatically closed. The system is capable of over 3.5 million withdrawals in a minute. Okay, so, don't worry about how big the company is going to get. I think 3.5 million in a minute is more than able to cope with whatever demands are put on it. Are multiple accounts allowed? Yes. You can have multiple accounts, but you must have a separate email and phone number for each account. Okay, you can share the same withdrawal wallet address, but you cannot have the same email or the same phone number in more than one account. Now, one little trick that a lot of people don't know is with Gmail, you can set up multiple accounts on the one account. And that is just simply by going, for example, my name is Angus Levie. So I have my main Gmail account is anguslevie@gmail.com. And then I can set up an Angus Levie plus, that's the X, okay, plus sign, +1. And then I've got +2 and +3. So all of those are identified by Gmail as being for Angus Levie account. So all emails to +1, 2, or 3 would automatically come in to my main account. But for Afriq, they would identify them because they're different email addresses as different email addresses, and it's not a problem. But they're very strict here. They're saying that they will freeze or suspend any accounts that are deemed breaking that rule. So does Afriq offer face verification? No, it doesn't. It uses Twilio for one-time passwords. Now, they were using it at the very beginning and then they stopped using it. I'm not 100% sure why that is. It may have been that there were a few issues with Twilio, but that will be more than likely brought back in again shortly. What type of crypto does Afriq Arbitrage use? Basically, it uses deposits and withdrawals using USDT TRC20. And the reason for that is that, first of all, it's USDT is a stable coin. So there's no danger of it varying in price on you. It is also cheapest one for sending funds to and from. Maybe not the cheapest, but one of them. It's only a set price of $1 per transaction, which I think is very reasonable. When you consider Ethereum, for example, can be, I've seen just in the last week up to $9 for a transaction. I mean, that's crazy. Does the company offer an app for cell phone users? No, it does not. Okay. And the reason for that is that there are a lot of scammers out there only too willing to design their own little app pretending they're Afriq and take your money from you. Just be aware and careful. of scam sites, especially also scam Afriq sites. For example, here we've got Afriq Arbitrage.us and .com are the only two legitimate sites for Afriq. I've seen them with Afriq Arbitrage, for example. That is not Afriq, and they get you to log in. They've taken your login details, and you know, the danger is, if you haven't already bound your withdrawal wallet, that they may try and do that. Now, the company's done everything possible to ensure that it's not possible to have your money taken from you. So, for example, you're not allowed to change your wallet address at the moment. That may happen in the future, but once you've bound your wallet address, that is it. And please make sure that you're doing the right one, that it's TRC20 and not ERC20 or something else. I've had that with a few people. Some people have even put in their where it asks for their wallet address, it's asked for or they put in their referral Afriq address. So and that messes it up. Also, make sure your people take their time when registering, you know, because even a mistake in your email address or your phone number can take up to 3 months to get fixed. Is your salary your only source of income? If you are, you're one step away from poverty. Multi-streams of income, guys. This is what we're about here with Trading with Angus. And AAS is just one of those multiple streams of income that I introduce you guys to. So how do you get started? Well, simply getting the registration link of whoever introduced you, or giving your registration link to the person you are inviting to join. Please, again, make sure that they understand the rules, that, you know, they only have one chance to get this right on registration. If they mess it up, they're going to have to find a new phone number or email address, which is a bit of a pain. Okay, so that's basically a rundown on Afriq. There is something else I want to actually tell you about. On top of the 1.65%, on the 28th of each month, the system will automatically move to 2% a day for 5 days. It then moves to 3.5% for 3 days, and then 5% for 2 days. And the net result of this is that it earns, without compounding, 63% in a month. With compounding, it's a good bit more. It nets out at about 2.1% a day is what we're getting without compounding. With compounding, you're getting about 78% or even more. Now, one thing I'd like to quickly go through with you, just give me 1 second while I load it up here, is the power of compounding. So let's say you're just starting with $1,000, okay, in your account. Now we're talking about 2.1% on average per day, okay? Well, let's just leave it at 1.65, okay? Let's just be conservative here. And we're going to do it for 12 months, all right? 100% is reinvested on a daily basis. Just make sure that's all right. So on that, if you were paying attention, you'd see that that would be 399,302 would be what you would earn. Now this is being compounded, guys. It's not net, it is compounded return. But let's say you were going to introduce others, okay? And you're getting back 1% of whatever they would get. Now, let's say you introduced over the year, let's say, 10 people, and they put in 1,000 each as well. So that's 20,000 by 0.0165. It's 330. It's earning them a day. And you would be getting 1650, okay, a day. Now, this is, again, presuming that they're not compounding, okay? But that's 1650 per day, okay? If you allowed that to be compounded as well, so you're not withdrawing any profits, okay? Just watch the difference it will make. So you got 4,000 there. 400,000. Look at this. It's nearly doubling your return in a year just by having, people putting in, say, 20,000 in total. Now, remember, if your team are also compounding each and every month, this figure will be increasing, obviously, because they'll be getting more as well. So I'm looking at very conservative figures here. I know it may seem difficult to actually believe, but this is maths. Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Okay, so if you're keeping all your savings in the bank or the building society, you're paying it, because at the moment, inflation's running at 8%. They're giving you at best, 2%. That means you're losing 6% in value on your savings in a bank or building society per year. That doesn't make sense. You're paying it, okay? Whereas if you're taking advantage of compounding, you're earning it. So again, your 1,000 in, now this is presuming that you've started today, that you are getting back 631.71 in day one, and so at the end of the month, your total earnings are 2,044, and then in April it goes up and up and up. See, your earnings are increasing each month. This is your earnings earned by people you've introduced. Okay, now I know that's going to start off small, but in my first month in January, by the middle of January, I think I was at $18 a day I was earning, and I'm now up to about 58 dollars a day on just the people I've introduced personally. So the example I'm giving you here is 1650. So yeah, it gets to quite a bit. Now, what I recommend, because a lot of people are nervous about joining any platform these days because of past experience, I recommend that you actually encourage your people, maybe in the first 7 weeks, to withdraw their original deposit or profits, so that their original deposit is taken back, and then they're just investing the actual profits that they've made. So there's no risk, and if it does go down for whatever reason, then they've actually lost nothing, and then it's stress-free, risk-free. It takes roughly 7 weeks to withdraw all your profits without compounding. And that's also without having any introduced anyone as well. So that's the maximum it would take you to get back your original deposit. I think I did it in about between 4 and 5 weeks. I was able to withdraw my original deposit. Okay, guys, we're coming up to the end. We've literally 1 minute to go. I'm sorry that I can't go any longer, but I hope you found that of interest. And just be careful also when you're depositing or top-ups that you know that anything you deposit goes into that blue box in your dashboard, and you don't actually withdraw that. Make sure you never withdraw more than you've actually earned, because it upsets the whole system and it won't accept any deposits until your earnings are now more again than your withdrawals. So just be very mindful of that. Most of the complaints I get from people is, oh, my deposit hasn't dropped, I'm still waiting. It's because they've made an error and they've withdrawn more than they've earned. And it causes the system basically to freeze until they've earned more than they've withdrawn. Okay, we're coming to the end now. Thank you so much for your time. I'll probably do another one later on in the week, and I'll be more open to questions. So thank you, everybody. Hope you appreciated that, and see you later.